wheel roll. Don't shot him, that's a... Look, gave niggas hope when they needed hope. I gave niggas dope when they needed dope. Showed niggas the ropes and visuals from a different scope. Set the pick and roll, nigga chill. Kill, I spit the real niggas get killed over. Still holding my peace, be still dirty, you can still hold it. It's still cold in his crib, he finna still cold. Kill mode, he in the field, I hope he got your wheel roll. Don't shot him, that's a third eye, you real whoa. What's the reward, but what are the risks involved? What's the penalty for it? Get a pen, write his name on a bullet for your boy. Then pull it when you blitz, you get a Pulitzer award. Cheers, you know it's gravy when surveillance in the rear, we in the clear. Pick up them shell cases and make them cases disappear. I taste the fear. A nigga born and raised here, a raisin in the sun, cutting up coat with a razor. It's getting crazier. The nasally nods, but I'm more jay-zier. Awkwardly walking back on tracks like Ryan Shazier. Science is great, but God greater, more wavier. We made it this far. Tip the bartender, sign an autograph for the waiter. All the talk is getting radical and racier. We ain't forgot the path nor the past, no erasure. I'm locking in the focus like a laser, and we lapdog niggas who lazier. By the day, it's getting crazier and crazier and crazier. And crazier, 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 and crazier.
No shit, I wrote this sitting outside the psych ward. Cashing out, I be blacking out cause I keep the lights on. I'm the illest, it's in the air, you should get the lights off. Lots of trauma from drama I saw, I need new eyeballs. Clear as crystal, I peer within you, I'm spiritual. Seek and destroy you, I see the noise and I hear the symbols. Extraordinary, the stupid genius, somebody call Keem. Phoenix out the ashes like they didn't cremate it, why Keem? My pen is more impressive than your lock screen, my G. This just in, Herbert on your back. I charge a nigga for a rap, I'ma need more than a quarterback. We them niggas, don't worry about them, they ain't on my team. Omnipresence in my reflection, cursed with the gift. I hate her, biting by the rule. I just hanger, Micah by the noose like a lynch mob in the south. My palate needs straight. Every time I open my mouth is getting crazier. Thought you was Titanic, but I'm the glacier. That pussy good, but I had tastier just the other day, sir. Bag full of blue strips like dirty diapers. You ain't the shit, bitch. If I had a genie, my only wish would be you and a genie. They getting jittery when they in the vicinity with jit in me. You grow a money tree, then it gets shadier. Your foundation gets shakier. You remember what happened to the savior? This shit only get
crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier. And crazier, 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 and crazier. Bang, 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 bang.
The Blaze.
Yeah, you listen. I'm finna. Yeah, you listen to Super Blaze. Let's go.
DJ Super Blaze is in the mix.
Yeah, you listen to Super Blaze. Let's go.
DJ Super Blaze is in the mix.
Hey, hey, hey. 5 a.m. in the parking lot. Old black trucks taking parking spots. She reached in my vest to see I'm soft or not. I'm hard as a motherfucker, Scott LaRock. I gave a good dick, the type of hard to stop. The mad shots on her make an artist drop. 12 a.m. at the crib going ham. Rolling green, counting bacon, Sam, I am him. Will Miller through the crowd, fan by fan. Remember how we used to do it hand by hand then. 5 niggas, 1 gram, we spit a 20 damn. Not your average citizens moving like some immigrants. All these damn Zans, it be hard to remember when. Out in Lake Olympia, Jason used to whip the Benz. Drop me off in Meadow Creek, I took the boat to River Bend. I said it ain't no coming back, no way, I thought I'd lose a twin. Going up but never end, blowing up but never end. Slowing up or never end, going down but never end. Going up or never end, tore it up and go again. Used to be just me and twin, now it's her and all her friends, yeah. Yeah, hey, hey. 5 a.m. in the parking lot. Old black trucks taking parking spots. She reached in my vest to see I'm soft or not. I'm hard as a motherfucker, Scott LaRock. I gave a good dick, the type of hard to stop. The mad shots on her make an artist drop. Keisha got a G5 body. Tisha know how to ride that stick like a Rari. Tina walk around with her back like a Hummer. Dropped out of school to get the bag and go dumber. Was in med school, now the meds make a number. Outside, bold and beautiful for the summer. She don't wait on men, but wait a minute for the summer. Sitting in the 7, going on my 10th summer. Owe it to my fans, how we doing these numbers. Where I later pipe, might quit the job and be a plumber. Looking in the lot, but we treat it like a toy. Two around my city, let me show you. Got the basement looking like the 4-room. She seen the books, now she try to park.
With gold teeth, fake who don't cheat. Let me handcuff her to the bed like police. Too real for Twitter, man, she's so street. Check her timeline, you won't see no tweets. Ride or die chick, you don't want no beef. Good sense of humor, she funny like Monique. She a neat freak, the crib be so neat. A night freak, swear to God, I don't get no sleep. Ahead cause we both getting bread, whole week. Disagree, we gon' patch it up, slowly. Watch Kevin Hart, he had me so weak. Seen Cooley High, we cry for cold chicks. Eating mangoes in the summer, so sweet. We be riding on them jet skis, Jones Beach. Strong like 40 kings and queens, we both beasts. Even though it's just two of us, we roll deep.
This is pride, king and queen, so divine. If love can kill, it'll be a homicide. No describing this thing we got. Ain't nothing like black love. Ain't nothing like black love. Ain't nothing like black love. No, ain't nothing like black love. Ain't nothing like black love.
I like girls with tattoos, a bad attitude, screaming out my name when I'm in it. Cause I make her smile when she in a bad mood. Independent woman getting cream, cash rules. I told her X-Man, I got some bad news. Real chicks don't get along with whack dudes. Dance like she an exotic dancer at Sue's. I love a woman who know how to dance. Mad moves.
Baby, they can't keep up. Whoever talk down on you gotta speak up. You in your bag once again, you can't be touched. I got a bag I can spend, it don't mean much. We can vacate when you're weak up, or we can slide when you want. The streets up, I wanna see your feet up. I got a bag I can spend, it don't mean much. What's your move? I know you wanna risk, take a dump. Girl, you wanna risk, take a dump. Baby, what's your move?
Yeah, you listen to Super Blade, let's go.
DJ Super Blaze.
Baby, they can't keep up. Whoever talk down on you gotta speak up. You in your bag once again, you can't be touched. I got a bag I can spend, it don't mean much. We can vacate when you're weak up, or we can slide when you want. The streets up, I wanna see your feet up. I got a bag I can spend, it don't mean much. What's your move? Now you wanna risk, take a dump. Girl, you wanna risk, take a dump. Baby, what's your move? Now you wanna risk, take a dump. Girl, you wanna risk, take a dump. Yeah.
Chicks, have you ever rode on G5s, yeah, the jet? I can get you Birkins any size in her mess. Diamond crosses on your chest now, cause you're blessed. Crying in a double R when you feel stressed. Knew you was a shooting star when I felt your breast. I didn't wanna get involved cause I got the check. When you take your clothes off, you look the best. I can make it doze off after sex. If you reckon then the cash I blow, I can make some money cause it's all I know. Put you in the gold yard, why sell coke? Promise
Gotta speak up. You in your bag once again, you can't be touched. I got a bag I can spend, it don't mean much. We can vacate when you're weak up, or we can slide when you. Girl, you wanna risk, take a dump.
The crumbs in the bricks, nigga rag to the riches, damn right, nigga did it with a soda. Nigga still living like a G, kiss a nigga around me, that'll kill your ass like some meat bone. Well, look, serve my the Range Road. That's why my roller stay shining like a rainbow. I took that money machine, filled it with hella green. Unit shining like I sprayed him with some more sheen. DC, young fly, now what the fuck you mean? Young said he seen it all, now what the fuck y'all seen? The club and the rape came in a helicopter. David Beckham where I kick it like I'm playing hella soccer. I turn the valet to a helipad. Niggas straight walk up in the beard like I'm Nino. From the coat on my back to the shoes on my feet, everything on me, Valentino. I'm talking boys in the hood went solo, nigga. Testarossa back then, ex-polo, nigga. Nigga still on my dick, what you a homo, nigga? When you saying my name is free promo,
If it ain't about
nigga.
money, don't be blowing me up, nigga. I ain't getting up. If it ain't about the money, ain't no use to you bringing my line. Stop wasting my time. If it ain't about the money, nah, I can even hear what you say. I ain't finna do shit. If it ain't about money, bitch, you can miss me with. Bitch, nigga, miss me with. Turn it. Standing in the trap out with the full automatic at the back door. Cause when it's on, know it's on. Call me King Corleone. I'ma keep it 1,000 like a crack out. Give a damn if a black broke. I built the rich, I'm still the same, that's a fact though.
fucking lactose. Take off on the cops, mama said don't look back, bro. I'm in New York and I'm ballin' just like a net do. I'm drinking bubble gum pink like Pepto. Bismo, make sure when I come through, he get low. 100D with Haitians, all my souls. Zip tell these niggas, bro.
Bankroll mall, yeah, we retarded. I'ma give you 15 from the carbon. Hit you in the leg, in your head, in your face when you're dead. But yeah, I'ma take your place on the portlet. So better remember with the bullshit. Partner, I been hopping out your bushy with a full clip. Got it. I take a big stick to a fuck nigga neck. Swinging at a collar like a pinata.
I'm a beast with the chopper. I'm the same without it. Graduated from the lean. That's my album.
You almost ready? Let's go.
Shoot him in his head, he said, look at my roof. No sticks,
What?
no seeds, only cushion my kush. Make a nigga commit suicide and call it a selfie. I get M's like, I'm an asshole, I'm full of myself. You get an asshole full of my foot. They find your ass in the woods when they left. And these hoes,
how y'all doing out there, though?
I need to take my own advice, though, cause if the pussy good, then I'm good. Well, y'all got a pass, nigga. I've been big, just a little ass, nigga. You little ass, nigga, you don't get a pass, nigga. Started as a middle class, nigga.
We was like, we just regular little, got a little backslide. That Blaze gave his mix, he had him hurt his foot.
Don't get me to run around upstairs in my mansion, knock, who's there? I ain't even coming down. If it ain't about the money,
Let go.
Don't be blowing me up, nigga, I ain't getting up. If it ain't about the money, ain't no use to you thinking my line. Stop wasting my time. If it ain't about the money, nah, I can't even hear what you say. I ain't finna do shit. If it ain't about money, bitch, you can miss me with me.
Tap in. Taking off. Let go.
Feeling like I'm sorry. I don't need no driving license. Just a beauty like a license. That a ride or die and steal the show. You know they tried to drown me in amnesty, but I'm alive, they can't bury me. Now I'm wealthy and scholarly. Walk on the sea like I'm JC. Now I'm doing bigger, better. I'm changing atmospheres. Never take the meditation clears the mind. Keep the soul clear. Don't you let them use you. Keep your weapon near. Celebration is the only way out here. You gotta be tired of dying and burying people out here. I know it's hard cause they shoot first. They pull up, yeah, they click clack, they do dirt. They go home, then don't get back. But they can't bother me, nah. Cause I'm not property. It's essential. Yeah, this the mission. To be free and clear. Living off the land, feel like a trillionaire. This the mission. I ain't gotta care. Living on my dream and killing all the nightmares, yeah.
Tap in. How y'all doing out there, though? Hope you know what it is. Peace to the party. Peace to everybody in the chat. You already know what it is. We're going to get it in, though. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to know we're going to get it in tonight. You know what I'm saying? So, hopefully y'all, get everything. Y'all hear me out there loud and clear to make sure everybody out there in the party here is loud and clear. You know what I'm saying? When we take off. You see what I'm saying? Music Media Lounge. What's up, Bria, Quint? Homeboy with the news, Miss Sherry. Trail, what up? Miss Angela, I see everybody in the audience. I appreciate y'all live with us right now, wherever you might be located at. You know what I mean? Put your area at if it's your first time pulling up on us. You know what I mean? As they say, winter solstice time frame of the year. People celebrating a lot of different things. One for certain, the sun definitely gonna go through a universal event that we all gonna be affected by. However the case, you know what I mean? I guess that's the Aboriginal way of saying it. You know what I mean? I don't want to call it paganistic though. You know what I mean? But we're going to get into it, though. Music Media Lounge. It's your boy, Mac Gaither. God of Green. Shout out to Baron P. You're not with us right now. You know, it's the holiday time things going on. Blaze, man, you don't hurt your foot, though, man. You know what I'm saying? And, dog, I got to tell you, dog, man, listen here, bro. Listen here. You know what I mean? You got to be careful. I see 313. All right, shout out to you. Cole, where you at? Dayson, I see you. Shout out to Dayson in the building. You know what I mean? Word up. Appreciate you. You know what I mean? Marana to everybody. You heard? You got to be careful, man. You got to be careful, though, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't be just, you know what I mean, wilding out, paying attention at our age now. We don't recover the same. You know what I mean? We don't recover the same, all right? Listen here. Bet money. So, yo, we're going to get straight to it, though. You know, it's the solstice, you know what I mean? That's what we call it, Maroonville. You already know. Check out edithathomasparty.com. You see it when you go to the website. It has Maroonville. Let you get into our Patron. You know what I mean? It's free to get in. Actually, you just got to subscribe. And then, you know, we got our Maroonville Telegram. And then from there, you know, we do Maroonville, obviously officially on Clubhouse. Now it's going to be that going forward into 2025 because of what we do every year, the event around the equinox, actually. You know what I mean? The spring equinox. We call it the New Year. But, you know, we in the cold of the winter, and we're preparing commercially for January 1st, right? A couple weeks. So that's what we know it is, commercially speaking. So, and some other things. Why, you know what I mean? I forgot to bring that tonight. I ain't gonna lie, but you know what I'm saying? We can get into it, you know, Benjamin Franklin time frame when America went from the New Year being in March to it being in January. You go check that out. That wasn't too recent, like the 18th century, by the way, right? So, yeah, peace to everybody that's with us. You know what I mean? Let's tap in. Yeah, let's tap in. Let's get it. The harsh reality is live life autonomously, you heard? Tap in.
Double S drifter, separate sipping, and you know I came with it if she cute with it. So
Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces. How the fuck you bummy and broke but a pair of races? My lineage free people of color with a left maker. Each nigga. This right here maroon, now it ain't burgundy. If you plotting murder, I'm certain that you'll need surgery. Hurt from when the burner squeeze. Protecting tribe business. Only consulting with governments, tribe to tribe with it. Please don't confuse us with those considered native. Semi-autonomy never was in our nature. just address me as Estelusti. Wild Indian status and Cherokees riding Ruchis. In my war bonnet, if you want it, bring it to your region. And black forces, the same color the European. Pardon my autonomy, I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces.
Aborigines, which means what? Black folk. You never find a white aborigine. Aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are aborigines, but you don't like to be called an aborigine.
He spoiled me water intimacy. Water intimacy. The Feast of Dedication is a holy holiday that we celebrate for 8 days. During these days, we have feasts and give gifts. It's a wonderful festive time that we share. But where does it come from? Back then, during the time of Alexander the Great, he went conquering many kingdoms and becoming a mighty man on earth that many feared. Before he died, he divided all the kingdoms among his men. Out of the kings was a man named Antiochus, who had rulership over the Greeks. In those days, there were some wicked Israelites that persuaded many to join hand with the wicked. And when they did, the king told them to do the ways of the heathen. So they did, not circumcising their children, forsook the holy covenant, and continued to do mischief. Now when Antiochus' kingdom was established, he thought to take over 2 realms. So he went after Egypt and took everything from them. Then he went against Israel in Jerusalem and tore down our sanctuary, robbed our gold, and slaughtered many. Israel was in great mourning. Many were killed, women and children taken captive, and our homes burned with fire. The heathen built the city of David with a great wall with towers. Wicked men with armor fortified themselves there with all of Israel's spoils. Those that lived in Jerusalem ran away because the city was full of strangers. Innocent blood was spilled in the sanctuary, and it was defiled. The land of Jerusalem was in great mourning, and it some of the Israelites did, sacrificing pigs and unclean animals to idols, leaving their children uncircumcised and living lawlessly. Those that refused to break God's laws were killed by the king. There was a man named Mattathias in Modin. He had 5 sons: Johanan Caddis, Simon Thaddeus, Judas Maccabeus, Eleazar Avaron, and Jonathan Aphis. Mattathias saw all the evil being done in Judah and Jerusalem. Him and his sons mourned and were broken by what happened to the land and the sanctuary. Now the king's officer was going into the land to have the people make sacrifices. So Mattathias went with his sons and other Israelites to see the officer. The officer said to Mattathias, "Come and follow the king's command like everyone. You and your sons will become one of the king's friends, being rich with silver and gold." But Mattathias refused, saying, "I will continue to walk in the covenant of my father, keeping the law and the ordinances." When he was done speaking, one of the Jews went to sacrifice to the idols. And when Mattathias saw that, he became angry and killed the man at the altar and the king's officer. Then he threw down the altar. Mattathias said, "Whoever is zealous for the law, follow me." So he fled with his sons to the mountains. A company of mighty men came to Mattathias ready to fight, fleeing from persecution for keeping the law. So they joined forces and smote sinful men, bringing order to Israel, circumcising uncircumcised boys, and recovering the law out of the heathen's hands. Mattathias reminded his sons to remember our forefathers and continue being zealous for the law. And when Mattathias died, Judas Maccabeus rose up in his stead, and all his brethren helped him. They fought with cheerfulness. Judas Maccabeus was a true warrior, protecting his men with his sword, pursuing the wicked. The wicked feared him, and he grieved many kings. He was well known as a man ready to die. Before every battle, Judas would pray to the Most High, asking the Lord to give him favor. Judas would win every battle that he had to fight and took back all that was taken from Israel. Through the will of our father Yahweh, Judas Maccabeus was able to fight the enemy with other powerful mighty men of God in triumph. They will rejoice and praise God for his grace and mercy. Judas and his brethren went back home and found blameless priests to cleanse the sanctuary. The priests pulled down and got rid of all that was defiled in the sanctuary and rebuilt the holy place. And after they succeeded, they worshipped Yahweh for their success. This is 1 Maccabees 4:56. And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days and offered burnt offerings with gladness and sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance and praise. We keep this holy day in remembrance of our hardships and thank Yahweh that he delivered us and allowed us to rebuild our sanctuary. If you haven't done so, please hit the like and subscribe button.
Yeah, so Judas Maccabee, Yahuda Maccabee, you know what I mean? Obviously tied to the Hasmonean dynasty, gives some historical to that period of time. That's a Maccabee book. Shout out, my sister, by the way, Maccabee. This apocryphal book, is taking place, and today people celebrate it, Hanukkah, or the Feast of Dedication, tied to the time frame of the Hasmonean dynasty because of what Matthias happened to do when they break down that joint, which led to his sons dealing with the dynasty, especially Yahuda Maccabee, after his father is the head person when you research him. And obviously they celebrate him and what he did to restore the Second Temple during the Hasmonean dynasty time period, historically. What happened after that, Lee Cummins was with us like just a week ago, and he was talking, he was breaking down when he was talking about the Billy Carson thing about Joshua and how Joshua was born in a certain time frame, and that came after the time frame of a person who was ruling Judea at the time, which was King Herod. You know what I'm saying? And King Herod is tied to the dynasty called the Herodian dynasty. You know what I'm saying? That basically took over the Maccabee dynasty, the Hasmonean dynasty. So that's just something to put into context this time of the year historically, that, around winter solstice, that historically, people celebrate interesting things. Funny enough, you'll find that Joshua actually is said, if you go through John in the Bible, right, to celebrate and honor today, a day we call the Feast of Dedication, they call Hanukkah. So it's very interesting when you put that on your head to think about. But still, hey, winter solstice though. And it's, I know y'all been seeing things talking about Nassau and everything. So I think the brother brought a good question before we go into what Nassau got to say about, the solstice. You know what I mean? But let's tap in. Go ahead, God. Tap in with us.
Okay, so let me get this straight. 2 astronauts, right? Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore went out for a space mission, an 8-day space mission, back in June. They get trapped out in space on accident. Wasn't planned. But they just posted a picture today wearing Christmas hats. Lock in, okay? Let me explain this to you. They went out for an 8-day mission back in June. 8 days back in June. Today, since they're still trapped out there, they sent us a picture to be like, hey, we're doing all right. Why do you have Christmas hats on? Where did you get them from? Where did you get the Christmas hats from? Listen, I'm not a conspiracy theory. I'd rather just have the answer. But 2 things don't add up to me. If the mission was only 8 days back in June, there's no reason for them to have Christmas hats. in December? How would they have Christmas hats? The mission was supposed to be 8 days in June. You were supposed to be back before Christmas. There's no reason for you to have Christmas hats. Now, also, if you're telling me they're sending them supplies, why would you send them Christmas hats? They're trapped out in space. They want to come home, and you're sending Christmas hats? Something ain't adding up. I don't know exactly what it is, but something not adding up. Something not adding up. I don't know what y'all doing.
Something ain't right.
Something not making no sense.
Something ain't right. I feel him straight up though. I'm like, that don't make no sense. You heard me? That don't make no sense. Shout out to Creek Blood Building. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you. Big Creek Money too. Shout out to you. You know what I mean? Appreciate you tapping in with us live. You feel me? Well, I got this joint for NASA dealing with winter solstice. You know what I mean? And let's see what they got to say, since someone might be trapped out there and they're sending them Christmas hats, knowing that they looking down on what's going down with the sun. You know what I mean? In the sky. You know what I mean? Since they see it, they've been to the moon, right? So they got to know what the sun look like, right? So go ahead, let's tap in with this right now. So see what they got to say about the solstice.
For those of us in the northern hemisphere, December 21st marks the winter solstice. But what does that mean from an astronomical perspective? From Earth, no matter where you happen to be, the sun reaches in its southernmost position, according to NASA. Seen from the northern hemisphere, the sun makes its lowest, shortest path across the sky on December 21st. In terms of hours of sunlight, the solstice marks the shortest day of the year for the northern hemisphere and the longest for the southern hemisphere. The reason for the sun's changing height in the sky? Earth's tilt as it orbits. On the solstice, the North Pole is at its farthest tilt of 23.5 degrees away from the sun. It will be completely outside the sun's reach, experiencing hemisphere. But the extra sunlight doesn't mean it will start getting any warmer. The oceans, which moderate temperatures on land, need vast amounts of solar energy to begin to heat back up. This year's solstice is especially unique, as it coincides with an event known as the Great Conjunction. Jupiter and Saturn will appear to almost touch, something which happens once every 20 years this century, according to NASA.
So according to NASA, you know what I mean? They gave you some coordinates and everything. Hope them folk up there okay. They still up there with them hats on. They must be really festive, you know what I mean? To celebrate Christmas with them hats on, sent to them while they're in space and can't come back. You know. Hanukkah, though, as we showed you, which is tied to the Feast of Dedication and the winter solstice, right? Funny enough. We slow down, guys. Let's give them a little bit of meat tonight for the solstice situation. Yeah, there's a great deal of evidence that in much of the Eastern Mediterranean and Middle East, the winter solstice was a time of imploring the sunlight to return and celebrating its readiness to do so. In Rome, the 25th of December was the birthday of the unconquerable sun. In Persia, at the winter solstice, the common people set great bonfires, and their rulers sent birds aloft bearing torches. Keep skying up. Of dried grass. It is a short leap to surmising that the Syrian Greeks may have chosen the 25th of Kislev as a time to decorate the temple by making their own sacrifices there, precisely because it was a time of the solar and lunar darkness, the time of the winter solstice, and the waning of the moon. And it was a short leap to surmise that the Maccabees, when they took the anniversary of that day as a day of rededication, we're rededicating not only to the temple, not only the temple, I said I'm ad-libbing, but the day itself to Jewish holiness. We're capturing a pagan solstice festival that had won wide support among partially Hellenized Jews in order to make it a day of God's victory over paganism. Even the lighting of the candles for Hanukkah fits the context of the surrounding torchlight honors for the sun. You can keep God, you can a little bit more. It's a little bit more here. Keep this. Some commentators have objected that Hanukkah cannot be a solstice festival because it is tied to the lunar and not the solar cycle. But this objection ignores the fact that the festivals that are most clearly solar, Sukkot, and Passover, the festivals of fall and spring, are nevertheless tied to the full moon for their dates. The objection also ignores the fact that the Judaism insists on keeping the sun and moon cycles in tension with each other in its entire calendar, never adopting either a purely lunar or a purely solar calendar, but insisting that each be corrected by the other. Moreover, if Hanukkah is not merely a solstice but a darkness festival, then the 25th of Kislev is the perfect time. In some years, the solstice day itself would be a night of bright full moon, but especially powerful in the agrarian pastoral culture with the few artificial lights. Some even the solstice itself would feel less like the darkest day of the year on such moonlit night by setting Hanukkah on the 25th of the month. The Jews, Yahudi, made sure that night would be dark by setting it in Kislev. They made sure the day would be very short and the sun very dim. It may even be that the Maccabees desired to celebrate a late Sukkot or to celebrate this newly Judaized solstice festival in ways reminiscent to the Sukkot was tied to Sukkot's earlier career as part a festival of the sun. As we have seen in our examination of Sukkot, the Mishnah goes out its way to preserve the memory that forebears turned towards the east to the sun, and the torches of Sukkot juggled by the Levites as they danced through Jerusalem may have been reminders of the sun. You know what I'm saying? So if we see Hanukkah again, as intentionally or accidentally as it's placed at the moment of the darkest sun and darkest moon, then one aspects the candle seem to be an assertion of our hope. You know, a little bit more there underneath that, God. You know what I mean? Of our hope. And matter of fact, that's really to renew light. See, there it is. So that's where I'm gonna land at though. The rest of them standing there, let y'all see, you know what I mean, the significance of that, what's going on with the Maccabee time frame and what's happening and you know what I mean, in real cultural situations of festivals, solar, lunar, you know what I mean, the sun, moon, and all that good stuff correlating to the solstice. You know what I mean? Back then. What's up? Mm-hmm. Right. Saturn, yes, you know Saturn, the planet, Kronos, and all that good stuff. Right, the festivals that's going on and stuff like that. It's time frame too, right? With these different cultures, it's already they call paganistic to them. You know what I'm saying? That's all this is right. Saturnalia is definitely a festival taking place around this same time, and the Hellenized Jews are taking place at this time because there is no Christmas yet at that time. You feel me? So the festivals at that time aren't tied to what we call today Christmas or well anything new. You know what I mean? There's no Santa hat, like you said. It's symbolic of festivals dealing with Saturnalia. You know what I mean? Real talk. That's interesting. And that time frame, by the way, too. It's 7 days of festivities. Yeah, 7 days of festivities. Right. Exactly. To the Hanukkah and that time frame. See, all tied to this time frame. You know, Hellenized Jews and Greekified folk dealing with festivities outside of their culture. But still, however the case, winter solstice though is still all tied in, even back then with them knowing tracking the lunar and the solar. So I just wanted to put that together. But see, you know, what's going on the other side of the world, most likely it's crazy because where did, you know, another group of people following have a great calendar system dealing with this solstice? Huh? Who would that be? Yeah, let's slide on. Let's see. Who would that be? Who would that be? What empire would that be? Oh, that would be the Mayan. Yeah. It's a, you hear me? Yeah. ITZA. You know what I'm saying? Now, You see, as the summer solstice passes about a couple of days ago, indicating the beginning. Now, this is 2 years ago with them tracking this information with over here, obviously in the Mayan situations, you know what I mean? And how they had a calendar system, right? But either way, you know what I mean? Winter solstice is waiting for you at the end of the year. Here's some information about the solstice in Chichen Itza and what it meant for the Mayans, just in time for you to plan your holiday vacation or just to save it, when you get a chance to go slide down there, basically, you know what I mean? So basically, going down, just to let y'all know, they got their coordinates too, you know what I mean? And look, NASA's right there in that second paragraph, right? The word solstice comes from the Latin word solstitium. And I know I messed it up, I butchered it. Yeah, solstitium, or whatever that didn't even sound good. But which means these sun stops. Solstices are a natural phenomenon that occurs twice a year when, as the Earth orbits the sun with 23.5 inclination, it gives us the beginning of the summer or winter, depending on which hemisphere you are in. As the solstice is related then to how the Earth orbits the sun, NASA has confirmed that inclination of the Earth affects amount of sunlight that the Earth receives, which results in the change of seasons. This makes Chichen Itza the perfect scenario to witness any sun phenomenon, from the equinox to the solstice to an eclipse, you name it. What I'm trying to tell you, they set it up so exact on their calendar system, you know what I mean? That anything you want to see, you just got to get to that pyramid structure right there at a certain time of the year, and all the, things that take place from, from everything, it's going to line on up for you to see it in great atmosphere things, you know what I mean, that you can come see. It's a great spot, they say, you know what I mean? So check that out. If you ever get a chance to take a trip around some astrological situation taking place, you never know. A common denominator between some ancient cultures around the world is that they thought of winter solstice as a representation of a time of renovation. So even though, I don't call this still, no New Year thing, like how they try to make it out to be, but still know that it's tribally known around, I would say, the world at this point. When you go from the Mayans to them folk over there, you know what I'm saying, doing their festivals that we just read about, obviously, in the East, right? The Yahudi people, that time frame, going from before them to into where they, situations they and their cultures. In this situation, though, they all still dealing with understanding of the solstices and the equinoxes, you know what I mean? And that is a universal thing, you know what I mean? So that's really where I want to slide on that right there, just show a little shout out to the Mayan folk, you know what I mean? Aboriginal people of Americas. If they knew about the calendar system like that, that means they had to be tracking it for a minute, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like they just came across it, Johnny come lately in the 15th century or something. Either way, last week, I just wanted to address this from last week, you know what I mean? We brought it up, you know what I mean? And dealing with, I'm going to give an example because, I just want to, make sure I clear that up. Hold on, I'm trying to get my shit right. Hold on. Shit right. Okay, here we go. All right, so boom. Last week, we were telling you about this link right here, dealing with the invisible threads, right? But we're going to slide down and get to the point of where we is. I need you to get to that, keep going. I'm going to tell you where to stop. Keep going. Right there, stay there. That's the paragraph I want to get to. We was talking about social death. You know what I mean? The deep-seated impact that slavery had on the slave populations is best captured in the concept of social death, popularized by the sociologist Orlando Patterson and familiar to scholars, perhaps not as recognizable beyond the academy. Enslavement disrupted and severed the social family's ties. The annihilation of family bonds took place in the violent acquisition of the Africans from the interior of West and Central Africa. The physical agonizing, I know I messed that up too, from the interior, again, I know I doubled up, separation of captives from their life, family, and community, in the anguish of their Middle Passage journey to the Americas. African people became outsiders, because they no longer belong to where a part of the social networks and communities in African homeland. Then you slide up a little bit, God. I want to get to this part of the Roman term that's coming up. Go to the Roman term. We read this. There it is, right there. So this word right here in the judiciary paragraph that goes into Obviously, the fact of telling you, judiciary system, just the justice system, as some people like say, are dealing with, what I mean, underlay American slavery also ensured that the racialized violence of social death was gendered, you know what I mean? And we were shouting out the ladies, last week, Sunday, that obviously went through, what I mean, this situation, you know what I mean? So again, in places like the Virginia House of Burgesses, which enacted the Partus Secutor Ventrum. I've been getting better with the word as I said it over the last couple of weeks, right? I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting better with the word. But still, it's tied to still the gender ideal of if you're what we were telling you last week is just to give you a synopsis if you missed it from last week, dealing with the slave colonies. Matter of fact, I'll just read, I ain't gonna lie. Enacted in slave colonies across the Americas from Brazil to Jamaica and Virginia, this law bound enslaved women's fertility to the reproduction of slavery. In places like the Virginia House of Burgesses, which enacted Partus Certer Virtrum in 1662, lawmakers broke with the Roman origins of English common law, the legal foundation of the colonies. Roman law required that children take their father's status if the parents were free, but the mother's status if the parents were slaves. Virginia's 1662 law, like those of many other slave colonies, collapsed this distinction and determined all children's status according to their mother's status. That's why I should again shout out to all the ladies, you know what I'm saying, matriarch, all the women that have children and stuff like that. You know what I mean? What you go through, good, bad, or ugly, you still are the person that's going through it. You know what I'm saying? So in the situation, shout out to you again. But the scenario that we're going to show in this case, you know what I mean? Because when people be like, I heard, it's a cliche thing people say, you know what I mean? What your grandma told you, right? I'm ready, guy. When you pull up, we're going to give him the Paul Cuffey. Paul Cuffey, yeah. Paul Covey is a great example of that Partus Secutor Ventrum situation. See, I mean, because technically, keep it simple. He's mixed, right? He's mixed, right? Let me give you a little background on him if you didn't know, right? A man of great energy and resolve, Paul Cuffey was born on a tiny island of Cutty-Hunk, 11 miles offshore of New Bedford, Massachusetts. He was the seventh of 10 children of Kofi. You should Kofi out. Slocum, or Slocum, however you pronounce it, a freed African slave, and Ruth Moses, a Wampanoag Indian. His father took the name of Slocum out of respect for the man who had freed him, John Slocum, a Quaker whose family owned Cutty-Hunk. His mother was descended from a long line of Wampanoags who had been friendly to the early white settlers. They were a hard-working, devout couple. Quakers themselves, they raised their children to be contributed citizens. They were free and ambitious, and they prospered. Keep going down a little bit, guys. They got to get a little more meat off this joint. You know what I'm saying? So when Paul Covey was 8, his parents bought 116 acres. You heard it. Farm in Westport, Massachusetts. This was an unusual move for a freed slave. It was 1766. You heard it again. Time frame. Still nearly a century before President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation. All 10 siblings grew to adulthood and lived successful lives. But Paul was the star of the family. Yeah, he stood out. He dropped Slocum as his last name and adapted his father's first name instead, changing Kofi, an Ashanti word meaning born on a Friday, to Cuffy, though often spelled with just one E. Cuffy showed an early affinity for boat building and all that good stuff. Navigation, just you slide it out so you can look at the screen while I try to narrate this whole thing because I ain't gonna read the whole thing. I'm just gonna want to get you out to the meat and bones. But basically, during the American Revolution, he's tied to all that and Quaker merchants and all that good stuff. Feel me? Tell you how he's got issues with the British. You know what I mean? He doing stuff off the shore in Nantucket. The Nantucket drinks is good too. I love me some Nantucket, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Slide down a little bit more. 1783, a few weeks before the revolution, Cuffy married a local. Look now, Cuffy, whose mama is an Indian, daddy's a freed African, right? That's what we're gonna go with the saying, right? And but he goes back and he marries what? An Indian woman. That's what it's saying. I don't know if y'all see that. Let it marinate. And then it says named Alice Pequot. They raised 7 children. Encouraged by the Roach family and other successful merchants, Cuffy set about building his own mercantile empire. Like, look, I say empire. Now, not only that, he was manned dealing with that empire. He said manned by African American and Native American crews. But we working side by side with each other. You know what I mean? In this time frame, right after the American Revolution, mixing with each other like how Paul Cuffy did. You know what I'm saying? Because he mixed already too. However the case, in Paul Covey's influence, though, is still tied to what we call abolitionism. See, slide down a little bit more, God. See, abolitionism is still tied not only with the vote, see, because, matter of fact, there it is right there. I'm going to read into right there. Having had to teach himself to read and write, he was eager for his own children to learn these skills. He offered to help pay for the first public school in Westport, but in the village did not want their children to sit next to Negroes. Cuffy's generous reaction was to build a school and support a teacher on his own property, welcoming the children of his white neighbors as well as his own. Thus, what was possible, the first integrated school in America was opened by a man of color. That's some history for you, ain't that something? Now, it gets into a commanding presence and legendary integrity. Cuffy was admired by the people of all colors. Upon his return in 1812 from the voyage from Sierra Leone, unaware of his country was at war with Great Britain, he found his ship impounded by the U.S. Revenue Service in Newport. Within 6 days, a recorded breaking speed, Cuffy was in Washington knocking on the door of President Madison, who immediately arranged for the ship to be returned. Cuffy is said to have been the first person of color to enter the White House through the front door. You heard me? Person of color, mixed. You know what I'm saying? Mama Indian, right? Keep going, God. Paul Cuffy, one of them dudes. And I mean, go up a little bit more, God. Puffy was one of the wealthiest men of color in the early 19th century. And obviously tied to the Quaker influences of what it tells you, the British Quakers and all that right there. No matter of fact, just the part where you see him going to Sierra Leone as an African colony supported by British Quakers provided a fine opportunity for developing farming economy. Unfortunately, Cuffy could not persuade the native chiefs that tilling the soil would lead to greater community prosperity than selling their captives as slaves. You see what's going on? You see what's going on? They're captives as slaves, like the ones that have some people that they done caught up on, like a situation that's taking place, right? And they're like, yo, this is what we doing. You know what I mean? And then Paul Cuffy, who's mixed, like, yo, man, look, you know what I mean? Let them people come over there and do this right here, you know what I mean? And we could make, nah, all right. Them boys were like, nah, we ain't even trying to see all that, though. But yeah, we're going to throw this link in the chat, guys, and let the people read this for themselves and take it with them. You know what I mean? This is a solstice gift to everybody. That's what it's live. Paul Cuffy. By the way, too, taxation without representation. Paul Cuffy's tied to that. And when you think about taxation without representation, Paul Cuffy literally is dealing with, obviously, natives and Negroes, as he said, to be mixed as himself. And he is telling the people, like, look, how are you going to treat me? How are you going to let somebody immigrate in to the area and be in a higher status than me? How is this working this way? You know what I'm saying? I don't think you're being represented and how we're being taxed, knowing that we're mixed and we're tied to this land a certain way. Paul Cuffy, taxation without representation. You got to tap in with Paul Cuffy to understand the context of what's going on. With that being said, we can slide. Shout out to Paul Cuffy and his brother and all his, siblings and family and all them. You ready? Oh, you want to read this part right here? Okay. Let's get to it. You know, hey, like yeah, we saw Tariq Nasheed talk about it's kind of like right after we just read about Paul Cuffey and all the stuff he did in Man of Color with a mama. You know what I'm saying? That's Indian, and people still know they got family ties to this land on that way, but they know they say some people be going extreme. It's just like Pan Africans, you got Pan Indians, but at the same time, when it's very interesting when you understand the mixture thing and you do it for your own purpose of genuinely just wanting to know your heritage. However, genealogy, lineage matters. Shout out to Miss Angela, right? But when we still expose that, because that shows that we're tied to the land a certain way, and then with certain things we got mixtures and certain things from there that we got the from the European mixture you got to the wherever it might be, West African you might say, you know what I'm saying? So Tariq Nasheed though got a good one with this one. I told y'all it was funny, you know what I mean, that what he said though, you know what I mean, but calm a bit, the lights be on right away. People don't like ugly, as they say. They say that God don't like ugly. You know what I'm talking about? So you can make a joke, but it ended up coming out like some people look at it like hate. You know what I'm saying? Like hate. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna slide with this one right here. But this is funny. I still think it's funny because it was still genuinely just creative. You know what I mean? Tap in.
Listen here. We is not FBA. That's a whole bunch of misinformation. Damn it. We is Chickasaw. You hear me? We is Lumbee. Nigga.
Nigga. That shit was fresh though. I ain't gonna lie. How that's especially how it ended. And the shit was funny though, for real. But still at the same time, hey, them people, it's kind of true too. Like we're not FBA, bitch. You know what I mean? You tied to the land like Paul Cuffey would be tied to the land. You're like, I'm more than just gonna take a term called something modern, you know what I mean? And then now you spent around me, look at it a whole nother way. But we do understand the delineation situation because what we see people saying outside now, you got to pay attention. So I'm not gonna be biased again to some of the things. I understand why they want to delineate to be known to be tied to the land foundationally, dealing with the nation we call America. But at the same time, with knowing that you got that mixture guy right there that said, it's not FBA, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Play the clip of the other joint real quick. It's gonna show you some context, y'all, of how that it should be playing out. That's why shit happens a certain way. I think you're skipping one. It's the people that, yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, this one right there. It is.
Haitian. I was never a black. I was always a Haitian. A Jamaican was always a Jamaican. They were never a black Jamaican. You know?
You're a black man. And
Dark
black people
black
come
man.
in
I'm not really black.
What are you?
I'm Honduran.
I
don't care if I'm the first person to say this, but us Somalis are not black. There's a difference between African and black. Let me ask you.
I don't think there's anything else that I'm afraid to admit because I'm black or whatever, because I'm not going to lie, I've only been black for 5 years. I know that sounds crazy, but like I've been Nigerian my whole life. So like
Reminder that Dominicans are not black. We are not black. And no matter how much black Americans cry about it, we are not black. We will never be black. Yes, I look black, but we are not black. And it is a reminder to black Americans who are so pathetically forcing Dominicans to label themselves as black. Where we keep telling them we have our own culture. We know black, papi. They still force it on us. So just a reminder, Dominicans are not black.
Black folks always stealing something.
I'm not black folks. I'm African.
That's the same thing. You black.
It's not the same thing. We're different than you guys.
Look at your hand.
No, we're different than you guys from here.
How you different from me?
Oh yeah,
How?
We don't do the same thing.
What you mean? So you better?
I'm not saying we better, but we do different stuff.
Like what? Give me an example.
Do different stuff. We African, we do different stuff.
Give me an example.
Listen.
Like y'all eat rabbits and we eat pigs?
Yeah, hold on. When Obama win, I see the black folks started dancing. You know what I told them? I said, no, it's not your win. It's Africa who win. Believe me. And you better.
Oh, so Obama.
think, huh? The Nationality Act of 1965 make you think, though. I ain't gonna lie. We should be all moving in one situation, knowing that in America we're all labeled black. But we gotta get first back on track to some respect in the house of who we are. You see me fighting like, we all gonna come to the end if we can't we all be under one house, huh? Under the sun. On the solstice. But hey, we do understand though, just to let y'all know we do understand, you feel me? Nations, you come from a nation, you feel me? And a nation is not to lie to some of us that's in America that got ties to indigenous people like Paul Cuffey, you feel me? So we might look at things, like you said, we different. We got a little different understanding of who we are, you know what I mean? Different experiences, even though we still one humanity, labeled black. Have we got our humanity yet? I want you to think about it. Tap in.
Were made by radical black racists. Let's just say that. Okay, it's a group of these guys that don't want to hear Jamaican, don't want to hear Guyanese, they don't want to hear a black guy that ain't down with them. Right. So their job is to criticize anybody who don't look like them or who ain't Black American.
Who are these guys?
You want me to say a name? We're gonna give them too much clout.
I mean,
the FBA, Foundational Black Authority, whoever the fuck these broke niggas is. I'm just keeping it a buck, and their shit is to attack everybody on Twitter. You see this nigga who run them? Like, your leader? Yo, man, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. And so they trying to change the narrative. They're not from New York.
Right.
So they telling a whole nother story. This was whoopity doop wop. These rumors.
See, so karma, man. You know what I'm saying? And now that people I see out here saying they're a hate group, and you know what I mean, all because of the confusion of delineation. You know what I mean? Not in a hate part of it, because I know y'all be mixing today, right? Like how Paul Cuff and them will put mixing back then now, right? Y'all mixing with people that are Jamaican, Haitian, and Puerto Rican, and you know what I'm saying? I don't see y'all giving that same pressure when I see y'all fellas at the strip clubs and stuff like that, though. You know what I'm talking about? Passport bros, right? You know what I mean? Aren't y'all taking trips to mess with people in other nations? But either way, it's like hypocritical is what I'm saying. Like, what happens is when you spread hate come back at you. You know what I mean? Type shit. That's the karma of this. Feel me? Now, Fat Joe said something, though. I'm going to tell you, hey, Fat Joe, I don't agree with you at all. But the hip-hop part and the culture, you know what I mean? Because that's why people be mad, too. You know what I mean? And there's some folk that look like you and come from the culture. And I got some folk, shout out to my Puerto Rican folk, all my Spanish folk I'm cool with, what it is. But at the same time, we're going to play this other clip, what these folk were saying, you know what I mean, about the hip-hop thing and the origin of hip-hop and culture tied to, the Black American. You know what I'm saying? They call African American. You know what I'm talking about? That person that's mixed with like Paul Cuffey. You know what I mean? But either way, go ahead, play the clip, God. When you're ready. I'm ready. You go ahead and slide. You know what I'm saying? Because this is interesting. So I'm just going to put it out there like that first, make it make sense. You know what I'm talking about? Tap in.
Puerto Ricans didn't start hip hop at all. My African American brothers created hip hop.
And then the Hispanics were telling me, what the hell are you doing, man? What are you doing playing that Jungle Bunny music,
When people look at what I said about anything, look, do I feel like breaking comes from African American culture? Fuck yeah, easy. Okay, no problem.
Like the Latinos, Moreno means black, they be like, yo, that's that Moreno style, and that's the original style of B-boy.
78, yeah. What year did you get into, did you start rapping, Ruby D? Late 76, early 77?
76, 77.
The Furious Five were still the three MCs.
So So if we go by the timeline of 73 and y'all is the first Puerto Ricans, that means that hip hop was going for at least 3 years before before any Puerto Ricans touched the hip hop soil, correct?
Pretty much.
Correct.
I would say that.
My foot in the door is Carlos Mendez because it's hip hop. You know, you got Flash, you got Theodore, you got all these cats, and they're all black. You know, I like playing this music, but I'm in Spanish. I'm not going to be accepted if I go out as DJ Carlos Mendez. Just the name alone is going to make you not want to come in the door.
Yeah, you might want to watch that when you get a chance, though. Either way, yeah, we gonna keep it slide, though. You know what I mean, on this solstice. You know what I mean? We almost there. Yes, sir. Hey, man, this man classic right here, right? What happened? Now, Miss Man Classic, Dave Chappelle, man, with the politics, you know what I mean? You know, when dude said Obama, you know what I mean? That was a win for the Africans, you know what I'm saying? Dave Chappelle did a skit dealing with Obama, like, you know, how black people get in office and how they were acting. So we got a couple of joints we get out of here, man. Shout out to everybody that, you know, tapped in live with us tonight. You know what I mean? We're going to be on a little break, you know what I'm saying? When we come back, we working out Moundology for y'all. You know what I mean? Gotta Green them. I'm looking at Gotta Green as I say that right now. See that guy? Look, you heard me? You heard that? Yeah. But we're gonna go ahead and play the clip though, and you know, enjoy y'all. We'll say this winter time. You feel me? As the sun rises back to its hottest point, we'll be back definitely in towards the end of January. You know what I'm saying? And getting ready for what they call the Black Month. You know what I'm talking about? That month they call Black Month. You heard me? February. Before we go into what we call Maroonville. So tap in with us. You heard me? Go ahead, God. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Peace to y'all.
People who say you're only interested in the Middle East for oil.
What? Huh? Oil? Who said something about oil, bitch? You cooking?
Mr. President, when do you think they'll hold general elections in Iraq?
Damn, I knew I shouldn't have called on this nigga. I shouldn't have called on you because you're always trying to distract motherfuckers with things like the war and skirt all the real issues. Gay people are getting married, folks. Yes. Nasty. You win? You have a problem with that? You know what you should do? You should sanction me. Sanction me with your army. Oh, wait a minute. You don't have an army. I guess that means you need to shut the up. That's what I do if I had no army. I would shut up. Shut the up. That's right. Okay, now I think I'm going to take orders from an area. That area is definitely right for regime change. All right. But if I can be real about it. Be real, son. Real? Be real, son. Try to kill my father, man. What? And play that. Say word, he tried to kill your father, son. That nigga tried to kill my father! Everything we love, we coming to see y'all, son.
Mr. President, sir, how do you explain the continual upheaval in Iraq even after the capture of Saddam Hussein?
Why are you doing this, man? I thought you was my black brother. Why you asking me questions like that? This nigga very possibly has weapons of mass destruction. I can't sleep on that. Not on my watch. That's not how I roll. That is serious. Now, if you don't want to take my word for it, why don't you ask Tony Blair? He got a whole nother set of intelligence. What's up, Tony?
We don't know much about this land. But we can't trust random niggas with things like that. As George so eloquently put it, I'm with him 100% of the way. We don't know what he has.
I'm not doing this by myself, and I'm not disrespecting the UN, even though they don't got no army. Go sell some medicine, bitches. Trying to get that all. The nigga bought aluminum tubes. Do I need to tell you what the you can do with an aluminum tube? Aluminum! That don't scare you? Fine. I don't even want to say this. The mother bought some yellow cake, okay, in Africa. He went to Africa and he bought yellow cake.
To die. I got to take him off of here. That's right. I got to take him off of here. There's only one, and that's me. You understand? For all that fighting, you understand? The sucker think he good. The sucker think he can whoop me. And I know he can't whoop me. Hey, boy, the nigga whole style is chunk. He got to die. I got to take